Hey, it's day 2 at Sonic Temple in Columbus, Ohio. I'm Lou Brutus. The Fever 333 joins me now. Welcome back.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
One thing you guys do that not everybody does, you try and always make sure each member of the band is available to do interviews together. Very democratic. I like the fact you do that.
We are certainly a democratic situation.
The demonstrations of late, you guys have done a run as a solo act with nobody else out there, and I think that leads to a different kind of evening for everybody, and it allows you to do some other stuff you might not be able to do. Kind of describe the evening and what you're looking to accomplish.
We want to create a space for people to exhibit themselves as they wish to be, or who they know they are. And a lot of times it's hard for people to act in the manner that makes them most comfortable societally. So we try to create that. We try to create an environment where people feel open to have these discussions. But we also create an environment. We put it in a position where we can speak with people after the shows. And Steven, the moment I can let him speak on this, the moment that we stop playing, Steven is ready on stage to talk to people. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really, really hard to do on tours with a lot of different bands, and especially festivals, because once you're done, you got to clear your shit off stage, and then it's time for the next band. Or even if you're headlining, it's like super late, and it's time for everyone to go home. But by the time we're done, it's like 10. So people stick around, and we'll come out and we'll talk to everyone until they kick us all out of the venue. And they talk to us about anything, like whether it's our lyrics. Sometimes they just want to say what's up. Sometimes they have questions about anything, about what we believe in, whatever. And having hours to just do that is pretty cool. Like it's kind of hard to do that in any other kind of setting. So,
what's the most compelling question or questions you've been asked in that format?
We still have a song called Trigger, and I think
it still exists.
It's out there.
In the ether.
Yeah, and I think people have so many different opinions on gun laws and things like that. That I mean, I live in the South. I live in Atlanta, and everyone's got guns, and I feel like it's not a black and white issue. There's a lot of in between, gray space on how people feel like we should go about getting guns, like which guns we need, people should and shouldn't have. So I just have met a lot of people who have guns for different reasons, like hunters and people who just collect and they haven't pulled a trigger in 10 years. Just different walks of life or different reasons for having guns that I don't think about initially when I guess maybe my emotions are there. But I think for me, I like things that kind of open my eyes to different walks of life. Just I like feeling, I didn't think about that. I love that. And and
that's the whole point of it.
Exactly. For us and for hopefully the crowd as well, because we play to a mixed crowd, a lot of different people. So I think for me I think the gun thing is just so it's a sensitive thing in this country. But even with that, and me thinking that I knew fully where I stood, talking to different people, you know what, that's an interesting thing. I never thought about it from that angle, from this angle, so that's probably one subject.
You guys bring up so many issues in your music. How do you still make sure the songs are good?
You got to be an artist just as much as you're an activist if you want to, if you want to be a band that talks about things that are a little more, like Steven said, sensitive, or a little more particular, a little more distinguished. And you have to make sure that you offer something that makes people want to listen to what you're saying. No one's really going to want to hear what you have to say if the songs aren't good.
Yeah, if the songs suck, you
could say whatever the fuck you want.
Speak all the truth you want.
Totally, yeah. You could be crazy as shit, or you could say the actual most profound thing that's ever been spoken, but no one's going to really listen unless you have the songs. Also, we come from cultures where, we listen to so many different types of music for so many different types of reasons. We make sure that our music is something that we would also listen to, and it has to get past the panel. Us three, John and Travis as well, part of this collective, we have to all make sure that we agree that it's a good song. And once it gets through that panel, it's gone through so many different opinions and people that enjoy different types of music for different reasons that we find ourselves with a song that we think can speak to more than just one group of people.
And certainly there have been many great examples of, for lack of a better term, issue-oriented songs that have been delivered in all sorts of genres. You can start with Woody Guthrie, but it certainly predates him, and go up to Rage Against the Machine, Prophets of Rage, yourself. So there's a lot of places where you can draw inspiration from, I would think.
Absolutely. We actually have a Woody Guthrie song on our playlist at our demonstrations. So
which one?
This lands
Yeah.
So I mean, we're just lucky. We're lucky to come on the back of this, and we always say this, and we have to say this. There are so many benchmarks throughout history, musically, of people saying and doing things that are considered revolutionary. I'm not saying that that's what we're doing. We're saying that we are inspired by those things.
Right.
The revolutionary actions and songwriting and activations that people have exhibited throughout time, so we're just lucky, man. We're just really lucky to be at this place right now, and where we feel comfortable enough and wise enough and informed enough to be saying and doing what we do.
You guys did a video for One of Us that you incorporated video from, I think it was in Los Angeles, right? Tell me about that.
Got up really early that morning. We basically released a call to action to anybody that wanted to speak on their own issues.
Yeah.
We really wanted to open it up and see what that looked like. See how many people thought the same things, felt the same things, or felt differently. And we opened up this space, and luckily it was very, very. It was a very free and comfortable space, but it was a very understanding space as well. There are people that coming there with various and very issues that may seem like they would never really go together, but we all got to come together and talk about it, and then we got to have our own march throughout LA, and then we made our way to City Hall, and we wanted to really also show that we're putting our money where our mouth is, as they say. We wanted to show that we're really trying to be out here. We're really trying to make sure that people feel there's a space for them to physically create the change that they want to see, and protest is one of the those age-old approaches. So we were able to do that, and it went really well, and we got to make a video out of it. So it could have went totally sideways, but it was good.
You guys are starting to pick up a following elsewhere on the planet. I think you just had your first, or recently had the first run down in South America. Yeah. Tell me about the demonstrations down there, and also tell me about the sorts of issues and things that fans and music people bring up to you down there. Are they different from issues up here, and if so, in what ways?
Well, South America, we actually had a lot of stuff come up because they have a current administration that is different than what a lot of the people we were talking to wanted. It was funny because remember when we were in the green room with somebody and they said they used to make fun of America, and then they said they couldn't anymore because of who they had voted in. And so it was interesting because they were almost asking, like, how do we cope with some of the things that we're dealing with now? And I think we've gone to other places as well that have issues that, even though they don't mirror directly what we're going through, you have people experiencing similar problems just internally, and trying to deal with people that don't necessarily agree with the way they want to live their life, and how to still do the things that you want while living in an environment that may not allow you to do all of those things. So for us, we try and be respectful in the fact that we didn't grow up dealing with the same problems as them. We're not going and telling people how their government should be run, but at the same time, we're trying to help them through the problems that we may be able to relate to. So I think we try and deal with it in a way that's it's a delicate subject. So we try and be careful, and at the same time,
respectful but also responsive.
Exactly, and listen a lot. We go over there and we really do try our best to understand rather than just go over assuming it's the same thing we're going through.
Well, also in the back of your mind, when you go to a foreign land, are you thinking, man, we've got to be a little bit extra careful not to do something bad or something stupid or say something like, holy crap, it's going to go the wrong way?
Absolutely. I mean, Jason's the one with the mic, so he has to deal with it the most, but we always want to be respectful.
But even in interviews and with fans, and somebody's on a phone and suddenly something you say is being watched in Taiwan 30 seconds later, and it's an incident,
Yeah, but we're also human. We're also human. We're fallible. We know that there are things that we might say or do that are incorrect, but we're open. I think that's a big difference with us. Is we're always open to to change. You know, whether that be something that we thought was the right approach that wasn't, to something we know is at least problematic. You know, and speaking against those things, we're not impervious to error. You know, and we're very aware of that. And I think that's what has helped us grow as the project we are and as the people we are, is we're able to accept the changes that we need to make as well. And change, the idea of change, it evolves. It's relative, right? It depends on what's going on around you environmentally, emotionally, individually, personally. So it's all changing. It's ever changing at all times. So there are plenty of times, I'm sure, that we're going to be faced with where we're going to have to pivot instantaneously. And we're open to that. We're by no means do we think we have the answers. We're actually here to offer advocacy for the bigger picture between all of us and trying to find an answer.
Well, that's a great note to leave it on. Always appreciate the time with
Thanks,
you,
Lou.
and
Thank
have
you.
a great day today.
Appreciate it, brother. You too.
It's the Fever 333. We are backstage at Sonic Temple in Columbus, Ohio.